One of the things that I'm always thinking about is fandom and the nature of fandom, because we talk so much about movies and pop culture and properties and TV and cool things that we have loved for a long time, that we're seeing this change over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, where fandom can easily be defined as also maybe people that don't love what's happening to something that they love as the people that do. It's Star Wars is what that's the catalyst for this conversation, but we're going to talk about other things. I'm wearing my Gremlins shirt by no accident because, of course, if you loved Gremlins in the 1980s, well, Gremlins is literally still around today on one of the streaming networks with a new cartoon, animated series geared towards younger kids. This stuff doesn't go away anymore. It just stays around forever. And in the last earnings call, the Disney earnings call, Bob Iger told the shareholders, "We are doing a great job mining our IP." And that's really what it is these things that we have loved, Star Wars and Ghostbusters and Gremlins and whatever else you want to think of from the 70s, 80s, 90s. They continue to be mined as intellectual properties, just like potential cash cows that will never go away. They'll be here forever. They're going to outlast all of us. And what we initially connected with all those years ago is long gone. And now we've got new creators and new talent and new executives that want to use those things as a vessel for certain ideas. And it just doesn't, whether you agree with that or not, that's the thing. I'm not taking a side on this. But whether you agree with it or not, that's the thing that's happening, is these franchises and these properties live on beyond our original fandom and turn into something else. And so Star Wars was the catalyst because, of course, it's a day that ends in a Y, so people are upset at Disney about whatever's happening with Star Wars. This conversation could be happening in 2015, could be happening in 2019, could be happening in 2024. It's the same conversation. That's kind of the thing that kicked this off, is I log into social media and I see all these angry, quote, Star Wars fans who are just furious at what Disney's doing. And part of me goes, why are you watching it? Why are you even invested in this? Move on. You're still here? Go home. The end of Ferris Bueller. Like, why are you still here? The movie's over. We did it. It has gone on beyond you. Why are you still here? We take identity from fandom. This is something that I've talked about multiple times on the channel. We take identity from what we love. For the longest time, for a couple of decades, was the Star Wars guy. I was always reading a novel from the expanded universe. I loved the original trilogy. When the prequel trilogy was announced, I ran into a classmate after graduating high school. I ran into a guy that I hadn't seen in several years at a gas station. He was one of my classmates. And he said, "Star Wars, are you excited about the new Star Wars movie?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, bro, you know it." That was my identity. People knew that I loved Star Wars. At some point, I had this realization. I'm like, the Star Wars that's coming out doesn't feel like the Star Wars that I love. I can continue to chase that feeling of the thing that I love and hope that these new corporate overlords that own this thing are respectful to what I love, or I could just say, you know what? I have had my time with Star Wars. I still know what I love. I let it go. I release you, Star Wars. And that's actually what I did. And it was hard because that was a lot of my identity. I was the Star Wars guy. I took pride in it. Oh, well, I've read hundreds of novels. I mean, I still have the bookshelf because I have all the novels still. I know so much about Star Wars. But now, the Disney era, listen, I try. I watched Andor. I watched The Mandalorian. I watched some of the Book of Boba Fett. I try. It's not for me. It does not connect with me. It does not ring the bell in my heart. That whatever that thing is, it goes, oh, it does not resonate with me. So I've had to let it go. The same can be said for just about anything as we live in this age of corporate glut in which no new ideas are being, if we do get a rare, if the unicorn of a movie that's an original idea that is really good, like, first of all, if we can get an original idea at the movie theater, that's a miracle. If that original idea connects with audiences, that's a second miracle. that filmmaker is rewarded for that original idea and that original success with like, okay, here's your Marvel movie now. And then boom, we've lost another one to the franchise machine. At one point, Ghostbusters was a new idea. At one point, Gremlins was a brand new thing. We are, now it's just me railing against franchises. We are losing the new ideas because we can't let the old ones go. And, you know, I don't want to come across like I have any answers, because I don't really have any answers. I'm just talking out whatever I'm feeling, and I'm feeling multiple things, right? Because like I went to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife, and was that the name of it? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I did not care for them because they do not, first of all, I'm not exaggerating here. I think both of those movies were conceived by AI. I think people wrote the screenplays, but I think the ideas in those movies, I think it's AI. Because they have fed in Ghostbusters to this machine. And then you get back a list of like, well, let's do Gozer. Let's do the dog, the demon dog. Let's do, you know, it's like a laundry list of like, well, if you do Ghostbusters, here's the hits. Work these in. That's AI. That's a list. That's not a movie. That's not a narrative. And so I go, okay, well, I don't connect with that anymore. And, you know, I've said in the past that I really feel like, let me use Star Wars as a perfect example of this. So I still love that the first trilogy for sure. The first movie especially. I love the original trilogy. I have to kind of, that kind of separates, it's separate for me, but I would be lying if I told you that the more Star Wars Disney cranks out, just like a fire sale, just like get it out. It's my TV shows, movies, as much as they crank out, it does start to fatigue me, even though I'm not even watching it. I'm not watching The Acolyte, not because of any political ideals or like social narratives or anything. I saw the trailer for it. I went to see The Phantom Menace, and they're like, and now a preview of The Acolyte. And I was like, well, that just looks like The Matrix. I already have The Matrix. I don't need this. So I'm not watching it. I'm just not watching it. But the more Star Wars that Disney cranks out, the more I'm like, this is kind of watering down the thing that I already love. There's a fatigue that sets in. When I go see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and I'm like, well, this is just like Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Literally same scenes from Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It does start to water down and diminish my affection for Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It just happens. So listen, we're in an era now where whatever your sacred cows are, whatever your darlings are, they will be franchised. You better believe there's going to be more E.T. They're going to keep going with Back to the Future. Long after everybody in that movie has passed away, there will be new Back to the Future films. They'll remake Hitchcock. They'll remake Quentin Tarantino, I bet. Like, whatever you think is off the table, it's not. They're thinking of ways that they can do it. So as fans of this stuff, do we go along with it? Do we defend it? Or do we say, I'm out? I'll tell you this, if we all said, I'm out, they'd stop making it. Because the reason they make it is because people watch it. For all the outrage about Disney and Star Wars, people are watching these shows. Let's remember, Disney has well over 100 million subscribers. And shows like The Acolyte are getting views. And all that anger on social media, there's no such thing as bad publicity. It's fueling The Acolyte. So again, I've never seen The Acolyte. I have no interest in The Acolyte, really. And again, and it's not a political statement. I just don't care. My Star Wars is over. I did it. My characters had a happy ending, you know. They Anakin, and it wasn't young Anakin. It was old man Anakin appears next to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, and then Luke smiles, and then the fireworks, and then celebrate the love, yub nub, and then we're done. Right? That's the end of Star Wars. That's actually the end of Star Wars. But we're fans. We have to keep it going. No, we don't. We can let some of this stuff go. But I don't always let it go. So therein lies the dilemma. And there's really the heart of this video is like, we love this stuff. We keep it alive. We're the target audience for it. But it does eventually reach a point where we have moved, like it lives on beyond us. It goes beyond where we're willing to carry it. And that's when the new fans come in, right? Presumably there will be new fans that come into these things that never, there's people that have seen the Ghostbusters movies, the new Ghostbusters movies, that have never seen the original Ghostbusters movies. And then and that's what every studio loves. That's what every movie studio is looking for, like a perennial hit that'll last 100 years. That's the ticket. They want things that they can just sell to us over and over forever. And in the case of the Ghostbusters and even some of the Star Wars stuff, they're just selling us stories we've already been told. They're like, well, you liked it the first time, let's do it again. And we're like, okay, popcorn. I'm not trying to be judgmental because I do it too. I went to see these movies. So there's no, like, I'm not coming from an elevated position. But at what point do we go, I'm good. I've had enough. I'm gonna tap out here. I think I've had enough of that. And we let it move on without us. And we stop supporting the thing that we're not connecting with. Maybe that's the question. Maybe that's a good place to wind this down. Is when you stop supporting the thing that you're not connecting with anymore, maybe it goes away. Either way, even if it doesn't go away, you're probably happier, right? You're not putting expectations into this thing that's not even interested in returning it. These corporations don't care they don't care if we like it or not. They only care if we pay for the ticket. Or more frequently, because theaters are drastic decline, if we spend our watch minutes on it on a streaming platform. And I know this is a thing for sure because I am championing the theater. I think we're witnessing probably the last gasp of the theater. And so I try to see as much as I can in the theater, especially new, original ideas. And a lot of people go, I'm not going to the theater. I'll wait till it hits streaming. I pay $9.99 and I can see it for $10. And I have thousands of hours of other things I can watch too. Well, those studios are counting on you doing that as well because they are counting the minutes that you watch that thing. And even if you hate it, it doesn't matter. You watched it. That's where we're at, is they're just counting how much we watch. And if you watch it, we're going to get more of that thing. So though there's been controversy about Star Wars, The Acolyte, or any of these other... I'm dating this video forever by talking about The Acolyte because these things are... like once they drop out of the zeitgeist, like who's talking about the Book of Boba Fett right now? Nobody. Once you start this outrage cycle online or wherever, if you're making YouTube videos about it for clicks, because it's going to be for clicks, you're doing that for money. You're doing that for outrage, for fun and profit. You're just feeding the beast. You're making more of that thing. You're supporting the thing. Even with your outrage, even with your hate, you're supporting that thing. You don't have to do that. You could just turn it off and don't talk about it and starve it out. Whatever you don't like, if you starve it, it goes away. And if it doesn't go away for everybody, it at least goes away for you. And you're happier. Right? I think that's how that works, is when you're not angry all the time, you're happier. So I don't know. I have no answers. I just know we're living at the end of something. This is the end of, Hollywood as we know it has pretty much come full circle. And I'm not saying movies are going to go away, but I think theaters are in drastic decline. I think that streaming has changed everything. And even though these companies are losing lots of money on streaming, they can't stop now. They got to keep feeding the beast. Yeah, I'm reminded now, there's a story that just came out that Spaceballs 2 is in development. From Mel Brooks is not going to be directing it. He will be producing it, which is maybe even an honorary producing credit, like John Carpenter getting a producer credit for those Halloween sequels, the new Halloween movies with Jamie Lee Curtis. He has a production credit, but he had no say-so in that, as he himself has said. He took the job because they were going to do it with him or without him. So he's like, all right, well, I'll take the credit. Mel Brooks is not going to be a part of Spaceballs 2 in the director or writer capacity. Josh Gad, the voice of Olaf from Frozen, he likes warm hugs and Spaceballs. How is this going to work? This is another example of like, well, this is something that worked in 1987. Let's do it again. And I guarantee that's going to end up, it's Amazon, it's an MGM property. Amazon owns MGM. That's going to be a Prime exclusive, probably. It's a Prime streaming video. Will you watch it? Because if you do, we might get Spaceballs 3. I don't know. When do we tap out? When do we say, this is going on long enough. I'm going to go do something else. Maybe you're the person that says, I'm going to go make my own movie. I'm going to do something new and original that's never been done, because now is the time to do that. Shoot it on your iPhone. Whatever you need to do. I don't, again, lots of things happening here. Lots of different, there's no easy answer to this. It's just like, where are you with it? I know where I'm at with it, and I'm tired of having everything that I once loved reheated and served back to me as if it was new. And frankly, if I'm being honest, I'm pretty tired of people in fandom going, yes, I will be there opening day. I will be there day one because I love this thing and I will support this thing. Well, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't support the thing. Because it's not going to be the thing that you love. It's going to be an echo of that thing that you love. The thing that you love it because it was unique. When Gremlins came out, there was nothing like Gremlins. God bless Joe Dante. Let's get that man back in the movies again. All right, that's a good place to wrap this one up. Again, free-flowing conscious, stream of consciousness ideas. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Thank you. I appreciate you. Subscribe. Give a thumbs up. I always say subscribe and do this. This is not subscribing. Do the thumbs ups. Subscribe, and you never miss a conversation like this. Thank you. I appreciate you. Take care. Till next time, I will catch you later.